What if Deku was a vigilante? Chapter 4. Deku groaned with effort as he worked out. He knew he needed to get stronger if he wanted to be able to use more of One for All at full power. Deku finished his bench presses and got to his feet, stretching, whilst turning on the TV. So finding some serious bad guys usually made him a little bit excited. Okay, time to investigate, said Deku. Deku ran off, grabbing his laptop, immediately getting to work, researching more about these stories of heroes mysteriously losing their quirks. A few hours later, Deku stood in front of a massive whiteboard with the various pictures and articles stuck to it. Okay, so whoever gets shot seems to lose their powers for about 30 minutes, said Deku. Deku ran through his hand through his hair, confused. But there was this case, where he lost it for 3 hours. What's going on there? Maybe different physiology? No, it couldn't be. The others are so similar, said Deku. Deku pulled up the list of attacks and the dates they happened. If this is a weapon, then it's possible that this is an improved version. They had a month between the latest attack and the previous, and in that time they could have proved how long it lasts. Who are they? Asked Deku to himself. Deku looked back up to the board. There's some big gangs involved. Maybe one of them knows something, said Deku. A few hours later, Deku sat atop a building with a pair of binoculars and a sandwich. He bit into his food whilst keeping his eyes focused on the biker bar a few streets away. Come on, turn up already, said Deku to himself. Deku finished eating, slightly annoyed. Thanks to how much energy Velocity burns, he has to eat about 6,000 calories a day to function, and it has only gotten worse since he got One for All. Deku was about to call it a day when he saw someone pull up on their bike outside the bar. Finally, said Deku. Deku powered up, jumping to the roof across the street. Once he landed, he ran off the edge, landing in front of the bar door. Holy, where did you come from? Said the guard. The guards at the door jumped back in surprise. Afternoon, gentlemen. I'm here to see your boss, said Deku. Could you go away, fly? That's in my room. The guards laughed, one grabbing Deku by the shoulder. Get out of here, kid, said the guard. Deku looked up, smirking. The guy in front of him was easily 6.5 foot and jacked, but Deku didn't care. He reached up, grabbing the guard's hand, and with a quick twist, he broke it, forcing the guard to his knees. Just let me in. I don't need to kick your asses, said Deku. The other guard went for a knife, but Deku was faster. With a powerful spin kick, Deku smashed him to the ground. Knock, knock, said Deku. Deku kicked the guard in the chest, sending him through the door. The wooden door splintered and broke, attracting everyone's attention. Deku walked in a few moments later, with a cocky smirk plastered across his face. Can I see your boss now? Asked Deku. Within seconds, dozens of men were rushing at Deku, weapons drawn. I guess he can wait, said Deku. Deku slipped his hands in his pockets before he ducked out of the way of a massive right hook. The guy who tried to hit him was big, with a massive beard. Take a seat, Santa, said Deku. Deku span around, kicking one of the bar stools into the biker's face, knocking him back. Suddenly, someone rushed at Deku, trying to tackle him into the bar, but Deku jumped up, letting the hulking man ram his own head into the wall, and with a firm kick into the behind, Deku sent him through the bar and his head sticking out the other side. Deku's smirk vanished when he heard the click of a shotgun behind his head. Get out of here, kid, before you get yourself killed, said the bartender. Slowly, Deku turned, his face level with the barrel. I'm serious, you will. The bartender stopped talking when his gun vanished from view. He hadn't even seen Deku move, but the kid had somehow grabbed his gun. I want to leave, but I need to see your boss first. Do I need to hurt everyone else, or can I just get what I want for once? Said Deku. Deku saw the reflection of someone running up behind him with a knife in a bottle behind the bar and sighed. I guess not, said Deku. Deku span around, ramming the butt of the gun into the biker's gut, then spin-kicked him into a nearby coffee table, breaking it. Deku snapped the shotgun over his knee, then took a deep breath. Come on then, said Deku. A few minutes later, there was a polite knock on the boss's door, and Deku walked in. Inside, he was met with another gun to the face. When will people learn, said Deku. Deku pretty much appeared behind the boss and kicked him in the backside, knocking him into the wall. Deku shot forward, grabbing the gun and crushing it. Can we have a chat, said Deku. The boss drew a knife, rushing at Deku, who barely reacted. With a supersonic kick, Deku launched the knife through the floor, then grabbed the boss by the collar, throwing him into his seat. Deku walked over, slamming a file on his desk. Just answer my questions and I'll be out of here. The boss groaned, but opened the file. For the last 2 months, someone has been making bullets, which temporarily take away quirks. Who is it? Said Deku. I don't know what you're talking about, said the boss. Deku sighed. I know that your number 2 was recently arrested for using one of these bullets. Come on, man. Make this easy. It's the same thing every time. You all say you don't know anything, so I break your arms, and then you tell me what I need to know. I don't want to break your arms, but I will. Just tell me what I need to know, said Deku. The boss froze for a moment. I don't know his real name, but he calls himself Overhaul, said the boss. Overhaul? Where does he get the bullets? said Deku. He said he makes them, and that this is only the beginning. Something about perfecting the formula, said the boss. Deku gulped. A bullet that could destroy a quirk for good was terrifying. Where can I find him? asked Deku. I don't know, said the boss. Deku took a step forward, making him flinch. I'm serious. They call us, but they're part of the Shiei Hasaikai, said the boss. Yakuza? Interesting. I still need a location. Where did you meet them? said Deku. The boss gave Deku the address, and Deku thanked him, walking over to the door. Thank you again, and I'm sorry about your friends. They just wouldn't let me pass, said Deku. The boss walked out to see the entire bar trashed, and dozens of beaten people lying all over the ground. One guy had been forced through the bar, and the other had actually been embedded in the wall. The boss gulped, knowing that Deku wasn't joking about breaking his arms. A few days later, Deku was running across rooftops in the area he was given. He wasn't just going to sit and watch the location, he was hoping to see something suspicious in the surrounding area, but nothing. Deku sat down, thinking, where could their base be? Even hacking into the police database didn't give me any useful info, said Deku. Deku stared down at the street, but snapped back to reality when he saw something that piqued his interest. A hero with a red cape and the number 1,000,000 written across his chest was walking down the street. Who's he? Must be new. I'm usually pretty good at recognizing heroes, said Deku to himself. Deku flashed back to Bakugo blasting his hero notebook apart. He gritted his teeth, keeping his cool. Maybe this hero has some info, said Deku. Deku powered up to maximum, feeling one floor's power mix with velocity. Time slowed to a crawl, and Deku jumped off the building and ran over to Mirio. Quickly he planted a bug on him, then ran back. A few hours later, Mirio finished his patrol and returned to Sir Nightie's agency. After getting changed, Mirio went to go talk to Sir Nightie. Luckily, Deku had thought ahead and put the bug in Mirio's hair so that he didn't lose connection. Hey sir, I finished my patrol, said Mirio. Anything to report, said Nightie. No activity. Did we manage to get the warrant, said Mirio. No, we didn't. They said, because we can't prove the bullets are coming from there, we can't act on it. All we have is the word of criminals, said Nightie. Deku smirked to himself. This was one of the reasons he enjoyed being a vigilante. He didn't have to worry about warrants or due process. He could just run in and break some bad guys' teeth. But I did notice something interesting. Overhaul has been spotted with 3 new people who appear to have been accepted into the group. What's so special about them? Asked Mirio. Well, they were all homeless. They appear to have been used because of their quirks, then cast out when their usefulness ended. said Night-Eye. So our bad guy is helping the homeless? Asked Mirio. I think he's more just using them as well, but it's interesting. Perhaps he's influenced by the hero killer that was taken down the other week. The one shouting about a broken society that allows those with special quirks to be abused by those with power, said Night-Eye. Deku smiled. He knew his way into Overhaul's base. The next day, Deku sat by the side of the road pretending to be homeless. Thanks to what he'd learned from Mirio, plague mask walk around the corner. Oh, please, sir, said Deku weakly. Overhaul stopped, leaning down to face Deku. What is your name, boy? Said Overhaul. I'm Deku, said Deku. No last name? Asked Overhaul. Deku made himself look as pathetic as possible before responding. I was never given one. My master didn't see the point, said Deku. Overhaul's interest increased. And who was your master, and why are you out here? Asked Overhaul. His name was Roscoe Sweeney, and he got rid of me. I have this speed quirk, but he said I wasn't fast enough to be important, said Deku. Would you like to come with me? I think you'll fit well with my friends. They were mistreated as well, said Overhaul. I would like that, said Deku. Deku got to his feet, following Overhaul. Across the street, Mirio watched them from his hiding place. I recognize that kid. I need to tell Sir, said Mirio. A few minutes later, Deku and Overhaul walked into their Saikai headquarters. Ah, here it is, thought Deku to himself. Before Deku entered, Overhaul handed him a face mask. Please put that on. The world is sick, and I will not allow that into my home, said Overhaul. Deku nodded, putting it on. A few minutes later, he was stood in front of the members of the Yakuza, feeling their harsh eyes scan him. If you will allow me, sir, I want to make sure he's not a spy, said Nemoto. Overhaul allowed it, and Nemoto activated his quirk, Confession. What is your purpose here? Said Nemoto. Deku was forced to reply. However, he was fine with that. I want to help fix this broken world, said Deku. And how will you do that? Said Nemoto. By wiping out the sickness, said Deku. Overhaul was getting a little excited. It wasn't often that he found someone who wanted to tear down the world just like him. That's enough, Nemoto. Deku is our guest. Come, I'll show you to your room, said Overhaul. Overhaul left the room and Deku followed. I'm interested to hear more about your feelings on society. Why do you think it's so broken? Said Overhaul. Those with powerful quirks are given free rein. They can be as cruel as they wish, and people will call it heroic. Only true heroes should be that strong, said Deku. Ah, are you a fan of Stains? Said Overhaul. I wouldn't say a fan, but I definitely agree with him on a few points, said Deku. Yes, it is a shame that he was defeated. If you want, I would like you to join me for tea later. You seem very interesting, and I would love to hear more about you and your opinions, said Overhaul. Of course, said Deku. Overhaul opened a door, showing Deku his new room. Make yourself at home, said Overhaul. Deku walked inside, pulling the door shut. I'll see you later, said Overhaul. Deku sat on the bed, taking a deep breath. He needed to find out how they were making the bullets. Across the city, Mirio ran into Night-Eye's office. Sir, I've seen something, said Mirio. What is it? Asked Night-Eye. Mirio pulled out a photo and handed it to Night-Eye. He met with Izuku Midoriya. Isn't meeting with a known criminal enough to get a warrant? Said Mirio. Mirio was excited, thinking he'd cracked the case, but Night-Eye's face dropped. It is, but I need to call someone. Mirio, please wait outside, said Night-Eye. Mirio was confused, but he did what he was told. The moment the door closed, Night-Eye ran over to the phone and called All Might. Night-Eye? What a pleasant surprise, said All Might. I found him, Toshi. I found Midoriya, said Night-Eye. All Might's expression hardened. I'm on my way, said All Might. End of chapter 4.